Hare
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna to all devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Shri Nityananda Chandram Patita Sharanadam Gauradam Tam Bhajeham Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shirvasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रयश्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भगवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 20. Conversation between Maitreya and Vidura.
Very good. Okay.
Saunaka uvacha Mahim prasthitham adhyasya sote swayambhuvo manuhu kanyan vantishtadvarani margaya varajanmanam.
Very nice. Thank you. Lena, would you like to read the translations?
Sure, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Sri Saunaka inquired, O Sutta Goswami, after the earth was again situated in orbit, what did I can't see the whole
Swayambhuva.
Swayambhuva do to show the path of liberation to person? I can't read the whole screen for some reason.
Who were to take birth later on. Oh, you can't see. No, that's fine. Maybe Sunil can read going forward. If Sunil, you're able to read, otherwise I can read. No problem. Okay.
Haribol.
Okay, you can read the translation, but let Ananda Leela read the Sanskrit first, huh?
Okay.
Thank you.
Saunaka Rishi inquired.
No, let Ananda Leela read the Sanskrit. She hasn't read yet. Huh? So, Ananda Leela.
Yes,
Yeah.
sorry. Yes. Shata Mahabhagavataha Krishna Shaikantikah Suhit Yastatya Jagrajam Krishne Sapatyam Aghavaniti.
Translation. Saunaka Rishi inquired about Vidura, who was a great devotee and friend of Lord Krishna, and who gave up the company of his elder brother because the latter, among with his sons, played tricks against the desires of the Lord.
Dvaipayanad anavaru mahitvetasya dehajaha sarvatmana shritah krishnam tadparamschapi anuvratah.
Vidura was born from the body of Vedavyas and was not less than he. Thus he accepted the lotus feet of Krishna wholeheartedly, and he was attracted to his devotees.
Kim anvapritchan maitreyam virajastirtha sevaya upagamya kushavarta ashinam tadvavitamam.
Vidura was purified of all passions by wandering in sacred places, and at last he reached Hardwar, where he met the great sage who knew the science of spiritual life, and he inquired from him. Saunak Rishi therefore asked, "What more did we do inquire from Maitreya?"
तयोः संवदतोः श्रुत प्रावृता हि अमलाः कथाः आपो गङ्गा इवाघग्निर्हरेर्पादाम्बुजाश्रयाः
Saunak inquired about the conversation between Vidur and Maitreya. There must have been many narrations of the spotless pastimes of the Lord. The hearing of such narrations is exactly like bathing in the water of the Ganges, for it can free one from all sinful reactions.
तानः कीर्तय भद्रं ते कीर्तन्योदारकर्मणः रसन्यः को नु तृप्येत हरिलीलामृतं पिबन्
O Sutta Goswami, all good fortune to you. Please narrate the activities of the Lord, which are all magnanimous and worth glorifying. What sort of devotee can be satiated by hearing the nectarian pastimes of the Lord?
एवम् उग्रस्रवः पृष्ट ऋषिभिर्नैमिसायनैः भगवति अर्पिताध्यात्मस्तानाः श्रूयतामिति
On being asked to speak by the great sages of Naimisharanya, the son of Romaharshana, Sutta Goswami, whose mind was absorbed in the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, said, "Please hear what I shall now speak."
सुत उवाच हरेर्धृतक्रोधतनोः स्वमायया निशम्य गुरुधरनं रसातलात् लीलां हिरण्याक्षम् अवज्ञया हतं संज्ञातहर्षो मुनिमाह भारतः
Sutta Goswami continued, "Vidur, the descendant of Bharat, was delighted to hear the story of the Lord, who, having assumed by his own divine potency from the form of a boar, had enacted the sport of lifting the earth from the bottom of the ocean and indifferently killing the demon Hiranyaksha. Vidur then spoke to the sage as follows."
Wonderful. Thank you. So we have a little break there. And just summarize those first 8 verses. So, Shonaka Rishi is very eager to hear more from Sutta Goswami about what Manu did after Earth was back in her orbit, after being rescued by Lord Varaha. And also about saintly Vidu's inquiring from Maitreya. He compares such discussions to bathing in the Ganga, because both free one from sin. So actually, the discussions between the devotees about the Lord is actually regarded even greater than bathing in the Ganga. Because whilst bathing in the Ganga, you have to bathe many, many times to destroy your sins. Even hearing one discussion between the sages can liberate one. So that also is described in the Bhagavatam, I think in the first canto, how the discussions, how the association of a devotee is so purifying that even a moment can liberate one. And there are examples of this where simply a moment's association with a pure devotee has liberated a personality, especially in the pastimes of Narad Muni. There's so many examples. He simply gave his association for a short period of time. And those devotees were liberated. They became liberated souls. So Prahlad Maharaj is one. He wasn't even outside of his mother's womb, but he was listening to the narrations by Narad Muni, who was speaking to his mother. And just by hearing those narrations, he became one of the greatest devotees ever. So, see, the impact of hearing a devotee is more powerful than anything, including bathing in the Ganga. Sutta then said that Vidur was so delighted to hear the pastimes. And now Vidur will inquire more from Maitreya. When we get the chance of hearing from a devotee, inquiring from a devotee, we should always take that chance. We should always take that opportunity to inquire and find out more about spiritual life. Inquiry is so important. It's Bhagavatam and even the Bhagavad Gita is all about inquiry, where the devotee inquires about the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, he inquires directly from the Lord. But the Bhagavatam, this Srimad Bhagavatam, is considered higher even than the Bhagavad Gita, because it's a discussion between two devotees about the Lord. So very fascinating. So next, up to text number 15, Ananda Leela Maji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Let me just find this. Okay, good.
विदुर उवाच प्रजापतिपतिः सृष्ट्वा प्रजासर्गे प्रजापतिन् किम् आरभत्त मे ब्रह्मन् प्रब्रूहि अव्यक्तमार्गवित्.
Vidur said, Since you know of matters inconceivable to us, tell me, O holy sage, what did Brahma do to create living beings after evolving the Prajapatis, the progenitors of living beings?
ये मारीचेयादयो विप्रा यस्तु स्वायम्भुवो मनुः ते वै ब्रह्मण आदेशात् कथम् एतद् अभावयन्.
Vidura inquired, How did the Prajapatis, such progenitors of living entities as Marichi and Swayambhuva Manu, create according to the instruction of Brahma, and how did they evolve this manifested universe?
साद्वितीयः किम् असृजन् स्वतन्त्रा उत कर्मसु आहो स्वेत् संहताः सर्व इदं स्म समकल्पयन्.
Did they evolve the creation in conjunction with their respective wives? Did they remain independent in their action, or did they all jointly produce it?
मैत्रेय उवाच दैवेन दुर्वितार्केण परेणानिमिषेण सेन च जातक्षोभात् भगवतो महानाशेत् गुणत्रयात्.
Maitreya said, when the equilibrium of the combination of these moods of nature was agitated by the unseen activity of the living entity, by Mahavishnu, and by the force of time, the total material elements were produced.
रजः प्रधानान् महतः स्त्रीलिङ्गो दैव चोदितात् जातः ससर्ज भूतादिर्वियर्दादिनि पञ्चशः.
as impelled by the destiny of the jiva. The false ego, which is of three kinds, evolved from the Mahatattva, in which the elements of Rajas predominates. From the ego, in turn, evolved many groups of five principles.
तानि चैकैकशः असमर्थानि भौतिकं संहत्य दैवयोगेन यैमं मन्दम् अवासृजन्.
Separately, unable to produce the material universe, they combined with the help of the energy of the Supreme Lord and were able to produce a shining egg.
सोऽसैताब्धि सलिले आन्धकोशो निरात्मकः साग्रं वै वर्षसाहस्रम् अन्ववात्सितमीश्वरः.
For over 1,000 years, the shiny egg lay on the waters of the casual ocean in the lifeless state. Then the Lord entered it as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu.
Right, thank you. So, in response to Vidu's inquiry how the Prajapati, such as Marichi and Manu, created progeny, Maitreya began describing the creation. So, of course, this is quite a technical aspect of the Bhagavatam, where Maitreya Rishi describes in little detail how Brahma creates the secondary, he's the secondary creator. So from Mahavishnu, the karmas of the jivas and time and the three modes of material nature and the total material elements are produced, and they form a universal egg, which laid on the casual ocean for over 1,000 years. And this is inert until Garbhodakshaya Vishnu enters that egg. So we have the first Purush, Vishnu, who is Karanadakshaya Vishnu. He's laying on the casual ocean and he just breathes out, and all these universe comes out of his body. Within the universes, within the shell, within the egg are the karmas, the jivas, the time, modes of nature, and all the pradhan, the total material elements, which form this egg. And to give it life, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, each egg, each universe, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu enters into every universe. So this is how creation takes place. This is a summary of how the creation takes place. So now up to text number 22.
Yes,
Okay, so let's. Okay.
तस्नाभेरभूत्पद्मं सहस्रार्कुरुदीधिति सर्वजीवानि कायोको यत्र स्वयं अभूत्स्वरात्.
From the navel of the personality of Godhead, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu sprouted a lotus flower, effulgent like 1,000 blazing suns. This lotus flower is the reservoir of all conditioned souls, and the first living entity who came out of the lotus flower was the omnipotent Brahma.
सोऽनुविस्तो भगवता यः सेते सलिलासये लोकसंस्थां यथा पूर्वं निर्ममे संस्थया स्वया.
When the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is lying on the Garbhodaka ocean, entered the heart of Brahma. Brahma brought his intelligence to bear, and with the intelligence invoked, he began to create the universe as it was before.
ससर्जच्छायया विद्यां पञ्चपर्वाणमग्रतः तामिस्रम् अन्धतामिस्रं तमो मोहो महातमः.
First of all, Brahma created from his shadow the coverings of ignorance and the conditioned souls. They are, there are 5 in number and are called Tamisra, Andhatamisra, Tamas, Moha, and Mahamoha.
विससर्जात्मनः कायं नाभिनन्दं स्तमोमयं जगृहुर्यक्षरक्षांसि रात्रिं क्षुत्रित्समुद्भवाम्.
Out of disgust, Brahma threw off the body of ignorance, and taking this opportunity, Yakshas and Rakshasas sprang from possession of the body, which continued to exist in the form of night. Night is a source of hunger and thirst.
क्षुत्रिभ्याम् उपसृष्टास्ते तं जग्धुम् अभिदुद्रुवुः मा रक्षतैनं जक्षध्वम् इति ऊचुः क्षुत्रिदर्दिताः.
Overpowered by hunger and thirst, they ran to devour Brahma from all sides and cried, "Spare him not, eat him up."
देवस्तानाः संविन्यो मां जक्षत रक्षत आहो मे यक्ष रक्षांसि प्रजायूयं बभूविथ.
Brahma, the head of the demigods, full of anxiety, asked them, "Do not eat me, but protect me. You are born from me and have become my sons. Therefore you are Yakshas and Rakshasas."
देवताः प्रभयाया दिव्यन् प्रमुखतोऽसृजत् ते आहारसुर्देवयन्तो विसृष्टां तां प्रभामः.
He then created the chief demigods, who were shining with the glory of goodness. He dropped before them the effulgent form of daytime, and the demigods sportingly took possession of it.
Brilliant. Thank you. So from Garbhodaksha Vishnu's navel, Lord Brahma is born. So what happens is from his navel sprouts a lotus flower, and on top of the lotus flower, Lord Brahma is situated. So he's described to be unborn, actually. So Lord Brahma comes on top of that lotus flower. When the Lord enters his heart, Brahma's heart, Brahma creates the universe again. So we've heard before this how Lord Brahma performs tapasya for a long period of time, and eventually he gets the realization within the heart of how to create. And he also gets darshan, actually, of Govinda. Hence, he writes the Brahma Samhita, which is beautiful poetry describing in wonderful glory and detail of the Lord and the spiritual world. Anyway, Brahma creates the universe again, including 5 coverings of ignorance, which he becomes upset with, and he sheds his body. So the Rakshasas and the demons, they possess this part of Brahma, the ignorance and the night. And the Rakshasas, they're pained by hunger and thirst, because night generates hunger and thirst. And they run after Brahma, who, although frightened, informed them that they were his children. And then later, Brahma creates the effulgent demigods born of goodness. They take possession of daytime. So daytime is considered to be mode of goodness, and nighttime is generally considered to be mode of ignorance, because at that time one has a tendency to feel tired, go to sleep, and many sense enjoyment activities take place at night. Of course, for the devotees, it makes no difference whether it's night or day, because they are simply engaged in serving the Lord. So even at night, they will be chanting. Even as they go to sleep, they'll be chanting. So in sleep, they'll be chanting. So they're very fortunate. So now it's up to text number 37. So,
Yes, Swamiji. देवो देवाञ्जगनतः सृजति स्माति लोलुपान् तैनं लोलुपतया मैथुनायाभिपेदिरे.
Lord Brahma then gave birth to the demons from his buttocks, and they were very fond of sex. Because they were too lustful, they approached him for copulation.
ततो हसन् स भगवान् असुरे निरपत्रपैः अन्वीयमानस्तरसा क्रुद्धो भीतः परापतत्.
The worshipful Brahma first laughed at their stupidity, but finding the shameless Asuras close upon him, he grew indignant and ran in great haste out of fear.
स उपव्रज्य वरदं प्रपन्नार्तिहरं हरिम् अनुग्रहाय भक्तानाम् अनुरूपात्मदर्शनम्.
He approached the personality of Godhead who bestows all boons and who dispels the agony of his devotees and those who take shelter of his lotus feet. He manifests his innumerable transcendental forms for the satisfaction of his devotees.
पाहि मां परमात्मंस्ते प्रसन्नेनासृजं प्रजाः ता इमायभितुं पापा उपाक्रामन्ति मां प्रभो.
Lord Brahma, approaching the Lord, addressed him thus: My Lord, please protect me from these sinful demons, who were created by me under your order. They are infuriated by an appetite for sex and have come to attack me.
त्वम् एकः किल लोकानां क्लिष्टानां क्लेशनाशनः त्वम् एकः क्लेशदस्तेषाम् अनासनपदां तव.
My Lord, you are the only one capable of ending the affliction of the distressed and inflicting agony of these who never resort to your lotus feet.
सोऽवधार्यास्य कार्पण्यं विविक्ताध्यात्मदर्शनः विमुञ्चात्मतनुं घोराम् इति उक्तो विमुमुचः.
The Lord, who can distinctly see the minds of others, perceived Brahma's distress and said to him, "Cast off this impure body of yours." Thus commanded by the Lord, Brahma cast off his body.
तां क्वनश्चरणाम्भोजां मद्दविह्वललोचनां काञ्चीकलापविलसद् दुकुलच्छन्नरोधशम्.
The body given up by Brahma took the form of the evening twilight, when the day and night meet, a time which kindless passion. The Asuras, who are passionate by nature, dominated as they are by the element of Rajas, took it for a damsel, whose lotus feet resounded with the tinkling of anklets, whose eyes were wide with intoxication, and whose hips were covered by fine cloth, over which shone an girdle.
अन्योन्यश्लेषयोतुङ्ग निरन्तरपयोधरां सुनासां सुद्विजां स्निग्ध हासलीलावलोकनाम्.
Her breast projected upward because they are clinging to each other, and they were too contig- contiguous to admit any intervening space. They had a shapely nose and beautiful teeth. A lovely smile played on their lips, and she cast a sportful glance at the Asuras.
गुहन्तीं व्रीडयात्मानं नीलालकवरुथिनीम् उपलभ्यासुराधर्म सर्वे सम्मुहुः स्त्रियम्.
Adorned with darkness dresses, she hid herself, as it were, out of shyness. Upon seeing that girl, the Asuras were all infatuated with an appetite for sex.
अहो रूपम् अहो धैर्यम् अहो अस्यानवं वयः मध्ये कामयमानानाम् अकामेव विसर्पति.
The demons praised her. Oh, what a beauty! What rare self control! What a budding youth! In the midst of us all who are passionately longing for her, she is moving about like one absolutely free from passion.
वितर्कयन्तो बहुधा तां सन्ध्यां प्रमदाकृतिम् अभिसम्भाव्य विश्रम्भात् पर्यपृच्छन् कुमेधसः.
Indulging in various speculations about the evening twilight, which appeared to them endowed with the form of a young woman, the wicked minded Asuras treated her with respect and fondly spoke to her as follows.
काशी रम्भोरु को वार्थस्तेऽत्र भ्रामिणी रूपद्रविन्नपन्येन दुर्भगान्नो विबाधसे.
Who are you, O pretty girl? Whose wife or daughter are you? And what can be the object of your appearing before us? Why do you tantalize us, unfortunate as we are, with the priceless commodity of your beauty?
या वा काचित् त्वमबले दिष्ट्या सन्दर्शनं तव उत्सुनोत्सिक्समानानां कन्दुककृद्दया मनः.
Whosoever you may be, O beautiful girl, we are fortunate in being able to see you. While playing with a ball, you have agitated the minds of all onlookers.
नैकत्र ते जयति शालिनी पादपद्मं नन्त्यामुहुकरतले न पतत्पतङ्गं मध्यं विसीदत्ति बृहत्स्तनभारभीतं सन्तेव दृष्टिरमला सुक्षिखा समूह.
O beautiful woman, when you strike the bouncing ball against the ground with your hand again and again, your lotus feet do not stay in one place. Oppressed by the weight of your full grown breasts, your waist becomes fatigued and your clear vision grows dull as it were. Pray braid your comely hair.
इति सायन्तनीं सन्ध्याम् असुराः प्रमदायतिं प्रलोभयन्तीं जगृहुर्मद्वामुद्धधिया स्त्रियम्.
The Asuras, clouded in their understanding, took the evening twilight to be a beautiful woman showing herself in her alluring form, and they seized her.
Okay. So the demons become captivated. They're created by Brahma. They were agitated for sex desire. They chased Brahma, who took shelter of the Lord. And the Lord advised him to cast off his body. So when Lord Brahma did that, the body became twilight. And the demons praised and embraced twilight, who takes the beautiful form of a woman. So twilight is the early hours of the morning, or evening, sorry. And again, that is a time when lusty desires can be invoked, because it belongs to the demons at that sort of time. And the beautiful form of the woman has an hourglass figure and was playing with the ball. She was tantalizing the demons, and they seized her, as we saw in the last text there. So now it's up to text number 48.
रहस्य भावगम्भीरं जिग्रन्त्यात्मानमात्मना कान्त्या ससर्ज भगवान् गन्धर्वाप्सरसां गणान्.
With love full of deep significance, the worshipful Brahma then evolved by his own loveliness, which seemed to enjoy itself by itself, the host of Gandharvas and Apsaras.
विससर्ज तनुं तां वै ज्योत्स्नां कान्तिमतीं प्रियां त एव चाददुः प्रीत्या विस्भावासु पुरोगमाः.
After that, Brahma gave up that shining and beloved form of moonlight. We Vasu and other Gandharvas gladly took possession of it.
सृष्ट्वा भूतपिशाचांश्च भगवान् आत्मतन्द्रिणा दिग्वाससो मुक्तकेशान् वीक्ष्याचामीलयदृशो.
The glorious Brahma next evolved from his sloth the ghosts and friends, but he closed his eyes when he saw them and stand naked with their hair scattered.
जगृहुस्तद्विष्टिस्तां तां जृम्भनाख्यां तनुं प्रभोः निद्राम् इन्द्रियविक्लेदो यया भूतेषु दृश्यते येनोच्छिष्टान् दर्शयन्ति तम् उन्मादं प्रचक्षते.
The ghosts and hobgoblins took possession of the body thrown off in the form of yawning by Brahma, the creator of the living entities. This is also known as the sleep which causes drooling. The hope, the hobgoblins and ghosts attack men who are impure, and their attack is spoken of as insanity.
ऊर्जस्वन्तं मन्यमान आत्मानं भगवानजः साध्यान् गणान् पितृगणान् परोक्षेणासृजत् प्रभुः.
Recognizing himself to be full of desire and energy, the worshipful Brahma, the creator of the living entities, evolved from his own invisible form, from his navel, the host of Sadhyas and Pitas.
त आत्मा सर्गं तं कायं पितरः प्रतिपेदिरे साध्येभ्यश्च पितृभ्यश्च कवयो यद्वितन्वते.
The Pitas themselves took possession of the invisible body, the source of their existence. It is through the medium of this invisible body that those well versed in the rituals offer oblations to the sadhyas and pitas in the form of their departed ancestors on the occasion of Shraddha.
सिद्धान् विद्याधरांश्चैव तिरोधानि न सोऽसृजत् तेभ्यो ददातम् आत्मानम् अन्तर्धानाख्यमद्भुतम्.
Then Lord Brahma, by his ability to be hidden from vision, created the Siddhas and Vidyadharas and gave them that wonderful form of his known as the Antardhana.
स किन्नरान् किं पुरुषान् प्रत्यात्म्येनासृजत् प्रभुः मानयन् आत्मनात्मानम् आत्माभासं विलोकयन्.
One day, Brahma, the creator of the living entities, beheld by his own reflection in the water, and admiring himself, he involved Kimpurusas as well as Kinnaras out of that reflection.
ते तु जगृहुरूपं त्यक्तं यत् परमेष्ठिना मिथुनी भूय गायन्तस्तं एवोषसि कर्मभिः.
The Kimpurusas and Kinnaras took possession of that shadowy form left by Brahma. That is why they and their spouses sing his praises by recounting his exploits at every daybreak.
देहेन वै भोगवता सयानो बहुचिन्तया सर्गिनुपाचिते क्रोधात् उत्ससर्ज हतद्वपुः
Once Brahma lay down with his body stretched at full length. He was very concerned that the work of creation had not proceeded apart, and in a sullen mood he gave up that body too.
ये हि यन्तामुतः केशा अहयस्तेङ्गजाङ्गिरे सर्पाः प्रशर्पतः क्रूरा नागा भोगोरुकन्धराः
Oh, dear Vidur, the hair that dropped from that body transformed into snakes, and even while the body crawled along with its hands and feet contracted, they sprang from its ferocious serpents and nagas with their hoods expanded.
Mm. Okay. So the divine and demoniac creations. Brahma evolves various bodies. So we hear in these texts how he gives up many bodies, actually, both shining and dark. He also creates the Gandharvas and Apsaras from his beauty. They're supposed to be very beautiful and very artistic and beautiful voices, etc. The Bhutas and the Pisachas from his laziness. So the different bodies, both in darkness or in brightness, produce different categories of divine and demoniac creatures. Sadhyas from his power, forefathers from his invisible body, the Pitas. We talked about the Shrad, how Shrad is performed for the forefathers. Siddhas and Vidyadharas from his ability to remain hidden. Kinnaras and Kimpurushas from his reflection, which is very, very beautiful. And then we saw the last verse where the snakes come from his sullen mood. When he gives up that body, the hairs from those bodies turns into snakes and they're venomous. So now it's up to the end, Annalena.
स आत्मानं मन्यमानः कृत्यकृत्यम् इवात्मभूः तदा मनुंस सर्जान्ते मनसा लोकभावनान्
One day, Brahma, the self-born, the first living creature, felt as if the object of his life had been accomplished. At the time he evolved from his mind, the Manus, who promote the welfare activities of the universe.
तेभ्यः सोऽसृजत् स्वीयं पुरं पुरुषम् आत्मवान् तान् दृष्ट्वा ये पुरा सृष्टाः प्रशंसांसुः प्रजापतिम्
The self-possessed creator gave them his own human form. On seeing the Manus, those who had been created earlier, the demigods, the Gandharvas, and so on, applauded Brahma, the Lord of the universe.
अहो एतज् जगत् स्रष्टः सुकृतं बत ते कृतं प्रतिष्ठिताः क्रिया यस्मिन् साकं मनम् अदामहे
They prayed, O Creator of the universe, we are glad that you have produced it well done. since ritualistic acts have now been established solely in this human form, we shall all share these sacrificial oblations.
तपसा विद्यया युक्तो योगिन सुसमाधिना ऋषिर्षिकेशः ससर्जाभिमतः प्रजाः.
Having equipped himself with austere penance, adoration, mental concentration, and absorption in devotion, accompanied by dispassion, and having controlled his senses, Brahma, the self-born living creature, evolved great sages as his beloved sons.
तेभ्यश्चैकैकशः स्वस्य देहश्यां सम्मदातजः यत्तत् समाधियोगर्धि तपो विद्या विरक्तिमत्. हरे कृष्ण.
To each of one of these sons, the unborn creator of the universe gave a part of his own body, which was characterized by deep meditation, mental concentration, supernatural power, austerity, adoration, and renunciation. Haribo.
Thank you, both of you. Very good. So, absorbing himself in penance and meditation, Brahma created these great sages who are his sons, actually. And satisfied, he also created the human-like Manus. So sometimes the events of the secondary creation, the Visarga, are in sequence, and sometimes some elements are omitted or put in a different order. So the actual sequence of creation by Brahma, as given by Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, is first the animals are created with 5 joints, then the trees and the plants, then the snakes, the cows, and the buffaloes, and then the Rakshasas and the Kumaras and Manus and humans. So this is quite interesting to just to read. So just a very brief summary. We see how ignorance gives rise to the Yakshashas and the Rakshasas who accept the night. From goodness comes the demigods who accept the day. From the buttocks of Brahma comes the demons who accept the twilight. From the beauty, Gandharvas and Apsaras come and they accept the moonlight. Laziness comes, from laziness comes the Bhutas, Pisachas, who attack the impure persons while they're sleeping early in the morning usually. The invisible form of Brahma and the power come Pitas and Sadhyas, who accept the Shrad offerings. Antardhan, from Antardhan comes the Siddhas and the Vidharas, who are invisible, who effectively invisible, can't be seen. Reflection, from Brahma's reflection come the Kimpurushas and Kinnaras, who praise Brahma in the dawn. From anger, from the hair, the hands and legs, come the snakes and the serpents and the nagas, who are very cruel, take shelter of the cruelty. From his own mind comes Manus, sacrificial actions to be established by them. And parts of his own body, great sages come, who take shelter of Samadhi, Yoga, Riddhi, Tap, Vidya, knowledge, Rakti. So, interesting summary there of this chapter. Anything you'd like to add, Surinder?
Hare Krishna, Dandavat.
Hare Krishna.
All the Vaishnavas, Nitai Gaura Haribol. Yes, very interesting and detailed description of the entities created by Lord Brahma.
Mm.
Yes, very interesting. The few main points we can consider is that in the beginning, it mentioned about Vidura, who is a great devotee and friend of Lord Krishna.
Mm.
And then Vidura's qualities described, like he's very attached to the devotees. So this is very good example we must follow, to be attached to the service of devotees. Is very good. And like the scriptures emphasizes, sadhu sangha sarva shastra kahe, lava matra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hoy. Like that. By sadhu sangha, we get opportunity for Krishna Katha and Krishna Kirtan, like that. And then also it mentioned about the Vidura, he left the company of his brother. It refers to Dhritarashtra with his sons who are playing tricks with the wish of Lord Krishna. It mentioned in the beginning, like they were playing tricks with the desire of the Lord. So in Prema Vivarta, there is one chapter, and it says, chapter 8 in Prema Vivarta, it mentions Kutinati Chada, means give up deceit. So if you points on this topic, like the Kauravas headed by Duryodhana, he was very like they were using many tricks against the Pandavas and ultimately against Lord Krishna. So here it says Kutinati Chada, give up deceit. So it says Sarala Mone Gaura Bhajana, serving Gaura with a sincere heart. Gaura Bhaja, Gaura Bhaja, Gaura Bhaja Bhai, Gaura Vina E Jagate Guru Aranai. Say serve Gaura, means Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Serve Gaura, brother. There is no Guru in this world other than Gaura. Yadi Bhajive Gaura Sarala Kara Nija Mana, Kutinati Chadi Bhaja Gaurara Charana. If you want to serve Gaura, make your heart sincere. Give up deceit and serve Gaura's feet. So it says, Manera Katha Gaura Jane Paki Kemane Dibe, Sarala Hale Gaurara Siksha Bhujiya Laibe. Gaura knows your thoughts, so how will you cheat him? When you are sincere, you will understand Gaura's teachings. Like that, it continues, it's a whole chapter. So it is emphasized that we should be sincere in our attempt to practice Krishna consciousness. We cannot do sin and at the same time try to practice Krishna consciousness. We should give up sinful activities. We should try to follow the regulative principles and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the company of devotees, like that. And also in this passage of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it describes so many entities, the demonic entities and the divine entities, like that. So by sadhu sangha, we will be influenced with divine energy. We will be under the control and shelter of divine energy of the Lord. And with bad association, we will develop these demonic qualities. Lust, anger, greed, madness, delusion, envy, pride. It will follow like that. That's why it is emphasized. Asat Sangha Tyaga, He Vaishnava Achar. So we should give up mundane association, like that. And also, it is in a summary form we can conclude that in Krishna consciousness we should give up, it says bhukti mukti pisachini. The concept of bhukti, sense enjoyment or exploitation, should be given up. And the concept of mukti, Mayavad concept, the Mayavad philosophy, should be given up. And then we should try to attempt to practice Shuddha Bhakti. We should at least pray at the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Shyam Sundar Giridhari Jiva, so that one day we will be able to practice Shuddha Bhakti. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Nitai Gaura Haribol. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing that. Very important. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Surendra Prabhu. Any questions? Any comments? Okay, if not, we shall continue next week with chapter 21. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Mataji.
Ragini, thank you for joining.
Thank you to you.